So the topic name is what? సో మీకు కొంచెం కొత్తగా ఉంటుంది జాగ్రత్త వినండి. సో నెక్స్ట్ ఈ వీక్ లో మొత్తం కవర్ చేసుకుందాం పాతవి వాట్ ఇస్ ప్రాక్టికల్స్ ఏంటో మొత్తం కవర్ చేస్తాం. సో VPC which stands for, we call it as what? Virtual and private cloud. So what are the practicals you did previously? Must be done in your default VPC. Default చేస్తాం. సో ఇక్కడ ఏంటంటే we are going to create our own VPC with our own custom settings. So for that reason we need to create one. Every organization create their own custom VPC. Okay, they have to deploy their own resources, network connections, everything with the VPC. So we need to provide a particular firewall, gateways, and different types of public subnets, private subnets, అన్ని ఏంటి మనం ప్రొవైడ్ చేయొచ్చు. సో ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ మనకు ఏంటంటే very important. This is very important. We must know and what addressing. How to give the address for the VPC. I want to explore. Okay. So just open one paint application. So ఇక్కడ చూడండి. Just assume this is what this complete thing is my network. Okay, this complete my network. In this network I have how many subnets? These are what? Subnet. Okay, subnet 1, subnet 2. So suppose just assume, for example, I'm going to assign 1,000 resources. I'm going to assign 1,000 resources to this network, to this VPC. So subnet 1 contains more than 1,000, less than 1,000. Subnet 1 contains more than 1,000, less than 1,000. Which one is whole? Which one is part? Subnet is part of VPC. VPC is part of subnet. Subnet is what? Part of VPC. So if VPC contains 1,000 addresses, subnet contains what? 1,000 కంటే ఎక్కువ తక్కువ ఉంటాయా? Less than 1,000 IP addresses. So 500, 500, 200, 300 like this. Okay? షేర్ అవుతాయి. సబ్మిట్ చెప్పలేము. ఒకటే ఉంటే 1,000 చేయొచ్చు. మళ్ళీ రెండు ఉంటే ఏంటి? We're going to distribute the addresses. So for example, how to mention the addressing? So in internet, we always follow which type of address? IPv4 address. For example, I open the command prompt. Computer is మీకు అడ్రస్ ఉంటాయి. DBMS ఉంటాయి తెలుసు, చెప్పారు డీకమ్ మనకి. సో ఇక్కడ ఏం చేస్తాం? జస్ట్ రైట్ ipconfig/r అని రాస్తాం. డిస్ప్లేస్ నాట్ IPv4 అడ్రస్ ఎలా ఉంటుంది? సో 170.18.170.1. ఓకే, 4 ఆఫీస్ లో డిస్ప్లే చేస్తాం. సో వాట్ ఈస్ ద length of this IPv4 address? IPv4, the length is 32 bits. Next one, IPv6, the length is what? 128 bits. So we need to consider only IPv4 address. So ఎలా ఇస్తాం అది మనం? For example, ఎలా ఇస్తాం? For example, from 0.0.0.0 123.145.123.45.6.87 అలా ఏంటి? We need to mention the IPv4 address. So I'm going to create one VPC. The address is what? I'm going to do 10.0.0.0/16 and so what is this /16? So 10.0.0.0, we know that is the IP address of the VPC file. So what is this slash 16? We call it as, okay, IP followed by the CIDR, the classless internet domain routing. Okay, the classless internet domain routing. Okay, what is the purpose of the 16 value here? We need to calculate how many number of IP addresses the network contains. ఎలా calculate చేస్తాం? Based upon this 16 value. So we need to approach one formula here, that is, so I'm going to take a fresh notepad here. I'm going to take and paint application here. So, okay. So I'm going to take one VPC. So this is the my VPC here. So what I'm going to mention here, the address range is what? 10.0.0.0/16 for this VPC. So we have one formula, okay? So we need to mention one formula for to calculate IPv4 number of addresses. Okay, the formula is 2 power 32 minus the mask value. This is what? 16 is the mask value. How many will get? 2 into power 32 minus 16. So we will get 2 power 16. So how many addresses we will get here? Let me search. 2 power 16. Nearly how many? 65,536 addresses. We will get how many here? Nearly will get 65,536 number of IP addresses will assign to this particular VPC. Everki to this particular VPC. Okay, which contains how many now? 10.0.0.0/16, which equals to, which will get how many? 65,536 number of IP addresses. So again, within this VPC, we have a subnet 1 and subnet 2. So I'm going to divide this VPC into two parts. Okay. So first one is what? So first one is subnet 1. Second one is the subnet 2. So just mention subnet 1 as well as subnet 2. So what is the address range of the subnet 1 and subnet 2? I'm going to write 10.0.1.0 for first subnet /24. So for this again 10.0.2.0/24. The range must be in between 17 to 32. If it is 16, for subnet range must be range must be 17 to 32. ఎందుకు లెంత్ ఎంత ఇక్కడ మనకి 30 is the complete length. So ఏం తీసుకుంటాం మనం ఇక్కడ? We're going to consider as length as 17 to 32. So if we get 10.0.1.0, how many IP address we'll get for this subnet? So I'm going to this one description here. So how many will get? 2 into power of 32 minus, what are mass value here? 24 equal to 2 power 8. How many will get here? 2 power, how many? You will get the 256 IP addresses for the machines. Okay. So you will get nearly 256 and what? IP addresses for the machines. So here under 256, we are going to use only how many addresses? 251 IPs. 5 are what? The 5 are reserved IP addresses. So why we need to reserve? Suppose I want to select Indian cricket team select చేద్దాం అనుకున్నాను. అయితే మనం చేస్తాం ఎగ్జాక్ట్ ఎవరే ఉంటాడా? క్రికెట్ ఎంతమంది ఆడతారు క్రికెట్ ప్లేయర్స్ లో? ప్లేయర్స్ 11 ఉంటారు. సో ఐ వాంట్ టు సెలెక్ట్ ద టీమ్. ఐ వాంట్ టు సెలెక్ట్ ది టీమ్. ఎగ్జాక్ట్ 11 చేస్తారా? 15 to 16 ప్రాబబుల్ 14, 16, 20 మల్టిపుల్ ట్రై చేస్తారు. ఎందుకు? ఇవాళ ప్లేయర్ ఇంజూర్డ్ రీప్లేస్ చేస్తారు, సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేస్తారు. దానికోసం ఏంటి? we need to select the multiple pair. Similarly, if an IP address is not properly working, అప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తాం? We need to replace the IP with the reserved IP. Unused IP must be act as the reserved one after something. Okay. దానికోసం ఏంటి? We need to consider 251 IP and 5 are reserved IP addresses. సో ఎన్ని వాడుకోవచ్చు మనం ఇక్కడ? 251 IPs మనం ఇక్కడ వాడుకోవచ్చు. ఎలా is address మరి? How to give the addresses? So what is the address range here? 10.0.1.0, 10.0.1.1 for first mission address, first EC2 address, and 10.0.1.2 up to 10.0.1.251. If it starts from 0 to 250. Okay. So here also we will get how many? How many addresses we will get here? Here also we will get 250, 256 IPs. So regarding instances, 10.0.2.1, 10.0.2.2, and up to 10.0.2.251. In address in మనకి allocate చేయొచ్చు. So in this manner, we need to discuss about the addressing. How to assign the address for the VPC, how to assign the address for the sub. Clear? Okay. So when coming to next thing, so we need to create VPC. Okay. I'm going to create one VPC with this address. So what I'm going to write? Subnet must be what? 10.0.1.0/24. The subnet must be 10.0.2.0/24, which is the subnet range. So coming to next thing. So I want to create a default. I want to create what? Default VPC, custom VPC. Custom VPC. So in order to create custom VPC, first of all, we need to what? Create VPC with address. VPC with some address. Second one, create what? Create two subnets. Third one, create what? Internet gateway. Fourth one is the root table. Okay. So we know VPC. We also know subnet also. Subnet తెలుసు మనకి subnet కూడా తెలుసు. So in these subnets, I want to make one subnet as public, one subnet as private. So I'm going to deploy different resources, different types of, and what? Different types of machines must be available in this account. In this also, I'm going to consider different types of machines, different types of machines. So this is the public, this is the private. So what we need to create here is, we need to create one IGW. We call it as what? Internet gateway. We need to create one internet gateway. So we call it as public subnet. And meaning anything? The resources must be communicated with the outside world. Okay. So whatever the resources available in this VPC, in this subnet, must be communicated with the outside resources, outside the VPC resources. So in order to communicate with the outside VPC, we need to connect, okay? We need to connect this public to the internet gateway. In case of private, the resource must be communicated within the network. Either these resources or the resources, not outside resources. Not outside resources. Okay. So it is nothing but in order to establish the communication for public subnet, we need to create one internet gateway. So finally, we need to create the route table. So what is routing? Routing and general routing. I want to move to Delhi. Delhi ka tavakunna. How many ways? Passport same unde naku Delhi ke ante. Three ways. 9 4 ways. 8 ways. By road, by bus, or by car. 2 ways. Or by train, or by flight. 3 ways. So different scientific routing lo manaki the meaning is different here. Time ఎలా ఉంటుంది? If time is more, cost ఎలా ఉంటుంది? Time is more. I choose train. అప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది నాకు ప్లస్ 1000 రూపాయలు వెళ్ళిపోవచ్చు. 1000 రూపీస్ చూడండి I will just move to Delhi. In case of bus and car is expensive when compared to the bus. Airways more expensive but time reduced. So ఇక్కడ ఏం చేస్తాము? Destination is same but the routing must be different. Similarly, I'm going to choose a paint application here. Okay, I'm going to choose one paint application. So this is my source. So I'm going to create different types of nodes here. From 2, 3, 3, and some 4, and 1, 4, 2, and 2. identity associated cost. I'm going to consider node, A and B, C, E, F, G, H, I, and J. So these are my nodes. So what is my source here? My source is A. Destination is what? E. I want to talk about A to E. Paths ఏముంటాయి? A, B, C, D, E, L, H. A, H, I, J, E, L, H. A, B, F, G, I, J, E. Different types of paths. ఏం తీసుకుంటాం? Less cost. ఏ path తక్కువ కాస్ట్ ఉంటే we're going to choose that particular path. So node A maintains what? Node A maintains what? Node A. Starting node or final node ఇది? Starting node or final node? Starting node. So I'm going to mention the information like this. The routing information mentioned be like this. I'm going to write information about the node A. Incoming link, and outgoing link. Okay, incoming link and outgoing link. So incoming link node A must be dash, So what about the outgoing link here? B undi, F as well as H. So just write B is there, F is there as well as H. So we need to maintain the cost also. We need to maintain the cost information sometimes. Suppose I'm going to write the root table for and one more node. So node B, not node B, node B enough. Yeah, node B contains what? I'm going to write what? Not node B. Yeah. So node B contains how many incoming is only one link. A only. Outgoing is C and F. And also incoming link must be A. Outgoing link C comma F. Similarly, if I'm going to write regarding node G and So node G contains what? Node G contains how many incoming links? G contains C, F and I. C, F, I. Outgoing link, there is no outgoing link is there. So in this manner, we need to perform what? We need to create the routing information between the different types of nodes. Okay. So in order to create VPC, we need to consider all these steps. So now I want to create a VPC by using Amazon account. So we're going to consider what? You must know about this concept as well as you must know about this addressing criteria. How to create the addresses. That's it. Okay. So go to your in AWS account first. Because I enter the console here. So let me search for what? VPC. Search for VPC here. So right now we have only one PC, that is what? Default VPC. Enter default VPC. So go to VPC dashboard. Just go to VPC dashboard. Click on create VPC. Click on create VPC. What I'm going to create here? In create just like this VPC. This big architecture I'm going to create. So create VPC only. Give some name. Custom VPC. Custom VPC. So what is address here? Address I mentioned. So what is my address here? VPC address 10 dot. Idana? Okay. So just mention 10 dot 0 dot 0 dot 0 slash 16. ఏమని చూడండి ఇక్కడ between 16 to 28 వరకు ఇచ్చుకోవచ్చు. Okay. Choose default settings. Click on create VPC. Just click on create the VPC. After that, we need to create what? Two subnets. I want to create the two subnets. What are those?